Hey, how's it going? Happy Saturday. How's it going, guys? This is Apocalypse Movies. We made it to another Saturday. Thank you for joining me. This is the Apocalypse Movies, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power review show. My name's Keith Barnes. As you can see, it's just me. There's no Jacob Bartley right in here right now. Jacob Bartley is having some technical difficulties. He'll be joining us in a second. He's on standby right now as we speak. So, just gonna get me for a few minutes here. So how's it going? Saturday. I'm doing this Saturday afternoon. A little peek behind the curtain. I had to work. This morning, Saturday. That's why we didn't do our show at 11. We usually do. So we had to push it a few hours to this afternoon. So anyway, I'm here to talk about episode 6. What episode was that? Episode 6, right? I can't remember what number that was, but I know it was called Uruk. How'd they say that? Uruk? I don't know. It sounds like orc. It's one of the notes I wrote. It's like, oh, that sounds like orc. I wonder if that's where they got the word orc from. Someone heard what they Adar said. We prefer Uruk. It sounds like orc. So anyway, that's the name of the episode was not called Uruk. The episode was called Udon. Excuse me. See, I had that wrong already. That's why I need Jacob Bartley here. It's a tough job to do solo. So Udon. I forgot how they were saying that. So I can't pronounce either one of those words. So, but that is what it was called. It was called Udon. Putting up on my TV. My TV's right behind me. Right behind the camera here. So I can pull it up on the screen here. See? It was episode 6, and it was Udon. That's the name of the episode. So I'm just going to jump right into it right away and tell you this was an exciting, action-packed episode. I really enjoyed it. And I guess a lot of people seem to be enjoying it. I waited until afterwards before I looked to see what the reaction was to this one. But you could tell right away, this is the one. I think this episode is the thing that people were waiting for. There's been a lot of setup, a lot of establishing the world, establishing the characters, and establishing the situation. This is where we're finally starting to see. I think last week things were set in motion. Now the stuff's happening, and I think by the time we get to the end, we're seeing kind of in a more familiar place with what we're used to visually with Lord of the Rings. But we'll get to that later. But the last episode ended where the Numenor was setting sail, or the Numenor mission to go to Southlands and kind of help them. What's the word? Liberate the Southlands, I guess. It was setting sail. Isildur was there. King was there. Galadriel was there. Halbrand was there. And the people of the Southlands, the people that were left anyway, were ready for battle. So it was on. And this episode kind of picked right up with it. Adar gives a pretty good speech. That's one of my notes. He gives considering he's a villain and a evil monster, dark elf guy, that was a good speech he gave. I actually really enjoyed it. Excuse me. He gave a pretty good speech. Considering he's a bad guy. You don't often get bad guy speeches and things. You don't get the villain, the leader of the villain speech. But that was actually pretty good.
Hello.
Speaking of that,
I'm back in Middle Earth.
My buddy Jacob Bartley has joined us. How's it going? Oh no. And just as quickly, we may have lost him. Jacob Bartley. Hey, grand opening, grand closing, as the great Sean Carter once said. All right. I kind of want to just kind of stay here and look at the. Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we go. Okay. Having technical difficulties. Couldn't get the Wi-Fi, so I had to hardwire in. But we're good to go.
Now you are on location right now.
Yes.
You're live via satellite, so you're not at your
Exactly. Yeah. Can't say where I am.
Yes.
Surprise.
So we made it. I was telling everyone, which I got right to the start of the episode here. So you came right in time. Let's talk about well, before I actually get to that, but how are you? How'd you think of this episode? Because you hate this series. You hate this show.
Oh yeah. Look, this is a thing. Like, if I don't love something, I hate it, right? I've been like on the fence with this show so far. Yes. This is before this episode. If you watched our reviews, all right, somebody else said this online, but they said, and I mentioned this similar things, but they said it feels like a very, very high budget CW show. And I 100% agree with that.
Really?
Before this episode.
Okay.
This episode is the greatest thing I've seen in the Lord of the Rings franchise since the original trilogy. It's not better than the original trilogy, but it's better. It's the best thing I've seen from this franchise on screen since the original trilogy. And here's the thing. I tweeted that this morning that it's the best episode so far. And that I understand. So people who have been liking the series so far might not like this episode because it's a complete and total tone shift. It does not match the tone of the rest of the show, other than that one episode where the Southland King like went ham on those dudes in the alleyway. Like the rest of the show is not much. This was a rated R episode. And the rest of the show is PG-13. So like it doesn't match, but I don't care because I loved this. And we'll get into why.
Hey, first comment of the day.
Daryl, what's up?
Daryl?
Thank you for stopping by, even though we're later in the day today.
I agree. Yeah. Oh no, I can't put.
Keith had to take a nap, so
I did. That's what I literally told everyone exactly what happened. I said,
nice.
I had to work today. I had to scale it. We had to push back a few hours because I had to work. I first of all, CW. What? Who said that? I want to know who said that. I want to yell. It ain't
comment
that.
On another show.
No, I wouldn't say that. I know what they mean, but I think it's a little bit better than that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, I wouldn't go that far, but I think I know what they're trying to say. But I think this episode, excuse me, I think it fits right in with the rest of the show because it's been building towards this I think this entire time. So this, and I said exactly you just alluded to. I said it a few minutes ago, right at the start. I said I think that by the time we get to the end, it's a little bit more of a familiar place with what we've seen with Lord of the Rings visually, anyway. By the time we get to the end, and so yeah, I as someone I've loved the series and I love this episode. I do agree. I think it's definitely the best one, and yeah, I really.
I mean,
start to finish.
To be fair, we're just like, it's basically one long battle scene.
Yeah.
And we've seen that before. I mean, you don't watch Game of Thrones, but there are episodes of Game of Thrones that are basically just one long big battle scene.
Right.
And it's tough. Obviously, we're going to compare this show to Game of Thrones, but like, they did their best Game of Thrones impression and they succeeded. Like, and I mean that as a compliment because, like I think this show needed a little bit of edge.
Okay.
And this episode delivered that for me. And look, I'm not saying I love violence. All right. I'm a pacifist in real life. Like I'll walk away from a fight, but in my fiction, in my fantasy, give me all the violence because how many people died in this episode? So like, there's a difference between like deaths on screen where like a planet blows up. Obviously more people died, but how many people did we see? Meaning actually beings, including orcs, get slaughtered in this episode.
Stabbed.
Like, and then how many just regular humans, like at least 20, like at least. And there was like 50 deaths that we saw in this episode, which was crazy. Like left and right, just everybody getting slaughtered. Like it was insane.
Stabbed, blown up,
Throat slit,
arrows
heads cut off.
hailed with arrows.
Dude,
Yeah, throats,
my favorite, maybe my favorite shot when Galadriel leans like upside down on her horse and like slices the orc like sideways in half.
Yes.
Loved that.
And I love how the guys were like, "Who is that?" Or the young kid was like, "Who is that?" And,
by the way, this episode, I love Galadriel now. Remember how I didn't really like her that much? I love her now.
Oh, we'll get to her. She got she's. I wrote one of my notes is Galadriel's a gangster.
No, straight up.
She got really she got dark there for a second, which was it was good though. But so basically I just jump back because this is right where I started. This episode picked up. Last episode ended where Numenor is setting sail for the mission, and the people at the Southlands are preparing for battle. And this episode picks right there. But it starts with the bad guys, and I was saying, Adar gives a pretty good speech. I don't know if you heard me what I was saying. We don't really get too often. We don't get the bad guy speech.
Villains giving a good speech, yeah.
Right.
And what did that was at the beginning of the episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Right at the beginning, yeah.
No, that was honestly like that was well done, and I like how they it's not just like, hey, they're evil, they're good. It's like, no, the Uruk and the orcs have a mission, and or he does
belief.
At least a belief, and they're not just straight up like faceless villains,
Right.
So and that helps. And like when we see orcs getting killed, like they're not just like cannon fodder, they're actual beings who are like have a following, and they kind of look at him as their father. They call him father.
Yeah.
And he calls him their children. His children. Yeah. So like, even though it's not like, I don't think literally like he, fornicated with the woman and she gave birth to these things. But I do think that like, they're taken from his blood or his DNA or something, and created.
And he actually, and like he said in a conversation with Galadriel later, they have names and hearts and
exactly.
So but the orcs show up to attack that little town, and everyone's gone. It looks like Arondir set a trap for them. So then, first of all, he's awesome. And,
I like him much more after this episode too. When he's fighting that big orc and like kicking him in the face, that was awesome.
Well, and that's a cool trap, knocking down a tower, which Daryl here just mentioned. Yeah. Also, too, we'll say hi, Andy, down under.
What's up, Andy?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's going on, buddy? It's Sunday where he is. So, but so that kind of comes back to bite them letting him go. Right, because if they wouldn't have let him go, he probably couldn't have helped rally those people together to fight back.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was that was interesting. But we jump to the ships are at sea. Galadriel has a great line. She meets Isildur. It occurred to me as they're talking, like we see Isildur.
As soon as I saw them,
like
together,
they haven't met.
I was like, oh yeah, there we go.
Exactly. And then she asks for his rank. He says stable, whatever. He's he's in charge of the stables basically. She has a great line. She says, "Despise not the labor which humbles the heart." And they have a real nice exchange. I thought that was great.
That is a good line. I just think it's funny. Like, I don't remember a specific line from this episode, but like they keep putting Isildur like in situations or making comments about like things about him, and then we all know what ends up happening with him. But I remember the last episode they were like, I hope you can fight for something that you care about, or what I forget what they said. Oh, I hope you'll sacrifice everything for something one day. And I'm like, no, of course he does. But like everything involving Isildur is like connected to his future fate, which is kind of cool.
Exactly. he looks at the awesome visuals here in this scene with the ships at sea there, and they get a spectacular view of sunrise. He's just blown away by it, and of course his dad shows up and is like, "Get back to work." It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No,
I like him and his dad. I love that relationship.
Elendil, yeah.
And how he goes and first of all, I know we're jumping around all over the place, but I love how the queen can tell that Isildur's like itching to go into battle.
Yes.
She's just like, go.
Yep.
And like, what is his dad gonna say? He was like, I was following my queen's orders.
Sure.
He told me to go. So
exactly
his dad can't get mad at him. But
right.
his dad wasn't like he didn't say, I guess he kind of did save his dad, like him and the other dude.
Did. Yeah.
But the other dude did too, through the spear, through the orc that was about to kill him. Yeah. So it was cool. Yeah. Because honestly, the Numenor stuff was the stuff that I wasn't liking that much. But now, seeing them come, the elves and Numenor come into battle, or no, it was just Galadriel and Numenor. That's it, right? There wasn't a bunch of elves. Seeing them come to save the day and like the relationship between Isildur and his father, like that, I'm really liking that now.
Yeah, same. Yeah, see, that's interesting because the Numenor stuff's been my favorite stuff of all the storylines. So it's interesting, but yeah. You definitely at that moment too. His dad, like, what's he gonna say? No, go back to hey, we need as many hands as we can get here.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sure it's a moment you want to see what his son was made of. But yeah. Well, speaking of the queen, the next note after that is the queen is on the mission too, which I completely forgot. Like, oh yeah, she's there. She's on the ship with them, which
I thought that was. I loved that, to be honest. Like as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh damn, she went with them.
Right.
That's
very cool.
That's cool. I mean, they do that in a lot of fiction, but I love when the king or queen goes down and fights in the battles.
Fights with your troops. Exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. And maybe I think back to the first Wonder Woman movie where she was like, she's yelling at the commanders like, you're making all these decisions. What your soldiers are out there dying and you're in here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Talking about it or in safe in your office or whatever. I can't remember what she said, but yeah. My next line is, ew, orc blood in your face and mouth.
Oh yeah. That was tough. That was that's the big guy, right?
Yeah.
But I was trying to think who was getting, orc blood all inside their mouth. Yeah, it was him.
Yeah. Pretty brutal and vicious battle there in the middle. It's the middle of the night, approaching daylight. It comes daylight later on, but yeah, they're kind of on the run. Like I said, the orcs showed up. Everyone was gone. They were actually way far ahead, but not far enough that they could escape, but far enough to where they could kind of set up and prepare for the orcs to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and plus they were able to take out a bunch of them with that tower and everything that they did. So that actually helped. But then I wrote, "Dang, they made them kill their own people," and I went, "Oh, that was tough." I guess they had them wearing like stuff to make them look like they were orcs.
Well, because the orcs wear those to hide from the sun,
right?
So they wouldn't know the difference. But here's my thing though, which like it wasn't really. It was only a trick to the Southland people that were fighting for the Southland. It wasn't a trick towards the Southlanders who joined him.
Was it? See, that's what I first thought. Maybe it was.
No, because they knew they were fighting their own people. The people in the masks knew they were fighting their own people too. So like,
yeah, that's.
So I'm saying they willingly went in to go kill them. So they were just defending themselves and fighting back. So like,
well, I wondered if they did something to them to make them. You know what I mean? Like you're right. They did.
I think they all agreed to.
I guess so.
To join Adar.
I didn't know if there was. Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't know. I just in my head I imagined. Oh, they must have done some kind of I don't know, magic to them to make them.
I mean, they were willing to. Remember the dude who ultimately turns the sword and everything. He killed that young kid so they could prove their loyalty to Adar and all that. So
he did, but he's corrupted by that thing. So that's why I was wondering if there was something.
But he convinced the other people too.
Yeah, you're right.
I think they were acting out of fear. Like they think that
Yeah.
like they're on the right side of the war.
Right.
But
And
Nah.
Adar promised like, hey, I'll let you all live if you give us
basically,
yeah, you're right. Let's see. So yeah, that unfortunately is an ambush. The orcs are all waiting. Guess they're all got orc snipers around with arrows and they're shooting everybody. Bronwyn gets shot. I actually thought, oh no, like, so we haven't really lost any of these main characters yet.
No, not at all.
And so, well, yeah, thank you. I was actually kind of just wondering what that guy's name is. Daryl, thank you. Yeah, Wahlberg. Hey, how you doing? I'm Randy Wahlberg. Sorry, bad. So yeah, Bronwyn gets shot. They go retreat into this. What was they calling it? It was like a. It seemed like it was some kind of a. I don't know what that was. They kept saying into the. Whatever little building.
Know. Tavern. I don't know.
Tavern. Yes. No, it was. I think right. I think it was a tavern.
I think it was a tavern. Yeah.
Yeah. Which to me, I was like, that's not gonna
hold.
Right.
I'm curious.
Run.
Like,
do
the elves? I know they're immortal, but like they can be killed, right? Like you can stab them, and they die. So like, I'm curious how that lava volcano erupting and like waves, how anyone's going to survive that.
Why it didn't destroy everything there?
Did everyone except Galadriel die is what I'm wondering. Like, how did they even get safe from any of that?
Yeah, because it seemed like the keep. Yeah, you're right. The tavern was a keep. You're right. That's true. It just doesn't seem like it was as fortified as I guess it kind of was.
Maybe there's a safer area around that we just aren't thinking of.
I was just wondering why they didn't just run, just keep running, go to the shore wherever they park the ships, just go there. I don't know, but yeah,
no, I expected one of those big eagles to show up and like,
right.
Everyone hop on.
Yeah, right. I wonder what they're doing at this time. But well, speaking of that, Numenor does show up to come through. We see right as they get into the tavern. To take cover. The orcs all come in. Adar's looking for the thing, the little sword thing. Arondir is not willing to give it up, and they just sort of what you're talking about. They just start just stabbing people.
Oh my goodness,
that was brutal.
Just straight up stabbing people, and they stabbed like 15 people. Like it wasn't like just one or two, and they were about to kill. Arondir was willing to let his girlfriend / the kid's mom die for it.
Well,
and look, I mean,
if you see what that thing does,
technically
you know why.
The right thing. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So like, and he wasn't hesitating at all. Like, and obviously the kid's not going to let his mom die, but also now, so whoever uses that thing ever, they're corrupted now. So he's like Smeagol or like Bilbo or Frodo.
Sure.
Like it reminded me a little bit of the corruption from The Ring,
Exactly right. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I thought. And we'll get to that near the end. But
I think he's going down a dark path, that kid.
Yeah. Well, we're right when he told him
give it
to Numenor.
He's not like a important character, right? Like that.
I don't know. I have not.
Maybe he is, but we just don't know. Like,
don't know. Right.
Even though I read the stuff, I don't remember everything. So
Exactly.
I'm not, but he could be a character that, Rings lore fans already know.
Sure.
So like, I don't know, but yeah, I basically see him going down a dark path.
Yeah. Same. Let's see. Oh yeah. So yeah, Numenor does come through to save them just in time, right before they kill Bronwyn. And just what you mentioned earlier, one of my notes is the Queen lets Isildur fight. So it's pretty cool. But I did love when they all come speaking through, like you said, with Galadriel doing the thing on the horse that coincided. That was cool. I just love how
honestly kind of unnecessary. Like if you think about it.
No, was it?
What? I mean, no, it's amazing, but like
they're shooting arrows at her.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, that's why she ducked out of the way. That's what she was doing.
No, but then she went like all the way upside down, and then whatever. It was cool. Stuff.
You gotta show all the cool elf stuff that they can do.
Yeah, that's true.
Do a lot of flips and jumping off stuff.
Now that I think about
Orlando Bloom does the whole trilogy,
especially in the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, right.
He goes nuts in those,
Right.
Even though he's not even in the Hobbit novel. But well, they were trying to get everybody back for the Hobbit trilogy. I was like, how could you possibly have some of those characters? They wouldn't have matched up age-wise. But Roland, you could have done it with Legolas though, and it worked. I mean, technically you could have. Because that's not even that long ago. Like in elf years.
Yeah, not at all.
It's nothing. It's not even. Yeah.
What was it, like 60 years or something like that before?
Yeah, it's nothing at all. Yeah. Because Bilbo's like he's only like 100 or something, or 110 or something, 120
in the Fellowship. He's like
Fellowship.
That's 111. Remember, it's his 111st birthday.
That's right. He was. Man, I said this quote to Gio the other day, and he didn't get it. I was saying he felt like too little butter spread over too much bread. Is that the line that Bilbo says?
Something like that.
Yeah, I love that line.
Very good.
But yeah, man, no, it's weird to me because I think the directors. I got to look up who directed this episode because
good question.
The directors are changing. It's not J.A. Bayona like every episode, No,
not at all.
So I'll look that up, but keep going.
I think he just did the first two, and that was it. I haven't seen his name since, if I recall. But and he did Jurassic. Which one? Jurassic World.
The second one.
Second one. Okay. Yeah.
Fallen Kingdom.
Okay.
Which was all right.
Yeah, I watched some of it. But let me see. Sorry, my phone turned off. My notes. Okay. So Queen lets Isildur fight, which is all he's wanted.
Charlotte Brandstrom is the director of this episode.
Okay.
Fantastic job.
Cool. Yeah. Very good.
Fantastic job. Like, damn.
There's a lot.
She's gonna get some work after this.
Yeah.
Well, she's already. Oh my goodness, she's directed so much TV.
I was gonna say, is she a big TV person? Yeah.
She has 57 credits as a director.
Oh, wow.
And most of them are TV.
Yeah. Because this is a big scale battle
and a lot of them are foreign. Prior to like 2012, 2013, they were all foreign.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, but wow, she did an amazing job.
Anything I would recognize? Anything I would
The Continental, Jupiter's Legacy. No, I don't know. I mean, The Witcher. She directed 2 episodes of The Witcher.
Still haven't watched that.
The Man in the High Castle, Madam Secretary. So she's a TV director. Chicago PD, Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, cool.
Arrow. Wow. She did an episode of Arrow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's awesome.
Okay.
No, but I guarantee you she's going to get some work after this. Because this was cinematic, like, to me.
Right.
I watched the first 2 episodes in theaters. If I could have seen this on the big screen.
That would have been,
Oh, my. Like I said, I would pay $10 to watch, each episode in theaters if I could.
Well, this was episode 6. Okay. This was episode 6. So you wish you could string together the last 3, 6, 7, and 8. Put them in theaters. That'd be cool.
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine? Wow.
Sorry, our buddy Jeffrey Miller's back with us. Hey, how's it going? Totally agree.
What's up, man? Yeah, it definitely is. Like I was shocked. Like I put it on last night, and I was getting ready to go to sleep. I turn it on. 5 minutes in, I'm instantly like, "Oh my god!"
I did the exact same thing.
I'm wide, and I'm like up in my seat. I'm like, "Let's go! This is freaking awesome!" Like
I watched the second half of it again when I got home from work today. I was like, I want to watch it again.
Other than episode 2, I haven't felt compelled to go watch them again. This one, I think I'm gonna watch 2 or 3 more times.
Same,
to be honest.
Same.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Let's see. So, my next note here, I got Galadriel, Halbrand, v. Adar. So
yes,
reminded me of I wrote this is like when Vision was fighting the guy in the woods, and then Cap came to help in Infinity War. That's the first thing I thought of. That's the first thing I thought of, where the 2-on-1 fight there. Although it was just really a horse. It was a horse chase, really, not more of a fight. They didn't fight at all. It was cool.
Yeah, and then Halbrand wanted to kill him, and she stopped him. And then later on, she's trying to kill him, and Halbrand stops
Halbrand goes to kill him. First of all, the cool thing he does to get him off the horse, he trips up the horse And
without hurting the horse.
without hurting the horse. Although orcs were stabbing horses, which you never
Yeah.
see in stuff.
I'm
I went,
sure-
oh,
Yeah, I mean,
It's like,
I'm
oh.
sure the orcs wouldn't care, but I was thinking about that, like, oh,
Never see that.
But I think they did that tactically, like he did that intentionally to not harm the horse, but get the rider off the horse, which was
Mhm.
really cool.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And so Halbrand goes to him and says, "Do you remember me?" And he's like,
Hmm.
"No." Or did I kill someone that you love or something like that? A woman, perhaps? Obviously, trying to goad him into
Yeah.
knowing that Galadriel does not want him to. But I wonder what the history is there, because we didn't actually get
All
it.
right, so will we know that his like home was attacked or whatever, and that he left? And I think that some point, because all right, we found significant information that we find out from Galadriel talking to Adar
Yes.
is that he's one of the first evolutions of the orcs, which were called the Aruk. I think it's the Aruk.
Yes.
Aruk.
I couldn't say it. It's Uruk.
And or Uruk. Is it
Uruk?
Uruk? But
Well, I wondered
Yeah,
real
so-
quick if that's
yeah.
where that's why they call them orc, because it sounds like orc. You say Uruk,
and then over time, people just started
start calling them orcs.
Orc?
Yeah.
York. Yeah, I think that's what did happen. And
Yeah.
we find out that he was one of the first evolutions of those. Because here's the thing to me, it's like I was always thinking he looks more elf than orc, but he doesn't look full elf though.
Right.
So it's one of these first generations. And so he did work with
The Moriandor,
Sauron and the other dude, forgetting his name, Morgoth.
Morgoth,
But now he's claiming that he's killed Sauron. Which
and she said this was after, or he said, sorry, after Morgoth's defeat. Or did she say that? I can't remember. This when
well, it must have been because
whatever.
it must have been because like Sauron was
elves
around a lot after Morgoth died, right?
Yeah.
So okay, but now I'm thinking, unless I'm missing something that contradicts this, I'm thinking that the stranger is Sauron, and
Possibly.
that
I thought that too.
he thought he killed him, but his spirit or whatever went to wherever he was, and then he's come back down. And I'm thinking, like, if that's true, then like we might see Sauron like be good at first and then go back to being evil. I don't know.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
I did have that thought though when because the old guy Wahlberg, as Daryl told us, asked, "Where is he? Where is Sauron?" Earlier in this episode,
and he got like offended.
Yeah.
Oh, before he got offended when he called him Sauron, but then now he didn't say anything. He didn't respond at all.
Right.
Right. He's
right.
Where's
Yeah.
Sauron?
He didn't say anything. He got interrupted.
But the thing is, I think it's one of those things where like he tried to kill Sauron and he didn't finish the job, and Sauron got away.
Right.
And Sauron had to like rebuild his strength to come back.
See, now here's
basically
Daryl. You think Halbrand is? You think he could?
Well, Sauron is a shapeshifter, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess so. That's wild,
right? Is he? Am I making that up in my head?
He could take on different forms. Yes, definitely. So that's wild. If that's true. Wow.
I could see something like that.
Sure.
I mean,
that'd be a hell of a twist. Because he would be.
Wow.
Well, then what are these memories he has of some? Well, you know what? That kind of lines up with what Adar said. He said he killed.
Oh.
He said he killed him.
Do you remember me?
Right.
I don't know, man. That would be wild. After watching. Look, I'm not saying the next 2 episodes are going to be big battles. They could have no action. I'm still going to be way more excited going forward after this episode happened. You know.
Well, this is another episode where we don't get the Harfoots. Obviously, they're still traveling.
And you know what's funny? Normally, we have issue with that. It's one of the first things we always mention. We haven't even talked about that at all because I didn't mind. Like, this episode, there was no screen time left for them. It was already over an hour long.
Well, we got what I said happened. We got the converging of 2 different storylines where we have to,
Oh, the Southlands and the Numenor, yeah.
Right.
And eventually they're all going to come together. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and you're right. There was no time for the other stuff, but yeah. So during that conversation, actually, like I said, I wrote my note. Galadriel is a gangster, because she makes an incredible threat to him. Like, says, "I will not. Your kind is a mistake." But because
I was like, damn, that was kind of harsh.
You're right.
It was
because
really hard.
Because he says that we're born from the one or something like that, the creator by the one, just like you, or from the light or whatever he said. I can't remember. Masters of the light or whatever. Just like you. And she's like, no. Your kind was a mistake. Basically, it's like, I will not, even if it takes me this whole age, I will not rest until I've eradicated every single one of you, and I'm gonna leave you alive. Just so I can whisper in your ear, all your children are dead, or something like that.
That was like
wow.
a villain threat.
Yes. And I noted his line. He had a great line after, in response. He said, "It would seem I'm not the only elf alive who has been transformed by darkness. Perhaps your search for Morgoth's successor should have ended in your own mirror." Which I thought,
that's crazy.
Wow.
Jeffrey is right about this. Well, we got a song out of the Harfoots last episode. Yes, and I like that. I like the music from the Harfoots. And look, my favorite thing here is Elrond and the Dwarf Prince and then also the Harfoots. So I'm hoping we get a good amount of story from them from the next 2 episodes.
I did watch the
it comes on right after. It shows them.
Yeah, it showed.
And Elrond it shows Galadriel getting out, standing up. I'm
ash.
I want to know how she's survived that. Maybe her armor, she put her helmet on or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
or is it just it wasn't like lava? It was just like the debris or something.
You're right. Yeah, ash and smoke and stuff. But he said that Sauron sought to craft a power of the unseen world. What he said Sauron was trying to do. So clearly, whatever power it is that is contained in these rings, that's what he was looking for. And I don't know if that's what led to his. Well, Adar got tired of it, I guess, for whatever reason, and turned on him. So he says, but
doesn't every hand to the villain turn on the villain eventually?
Right.
Well,
that parallels what happened to Galadriel. Because her searching for Sauron, what she thought maybe people thought it's a fool's errand, he's gone. And her people turned on her, so.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So definitely parallels each other. But the next thing I'm thinking is, why did they leave him? They just left him alone. One of my notes is why would you leave him alone?
No, I was thinking that too. I was like, if he can escape, he's gonna escape. What were they doing? And the thing wasn't it didn't happen yet, right? All the water coming and the volcano erupting and all that. It hadn't happened at that point yet. They just left him in the room.
Just left him.
There was a lot of twists and turns in this episode. You think the battle's over. No, it's not over. It happened 3 times.
Yes, exactly.
So to me, it's I loved all the action stuff to me, but then when they go to oh, this is our king of the Southland, then it started to feel cheesy again to me, during that scene.
You didn't where they're acknowledging how Brandon's the king that they've been searching for or waiting for.
I like that they're doing it. I don't like how they did it. It's just a bunch of people, there's 30 people standing around. This is our king.
Why do you hate the show? Why?
I hate the show because it doesn't feel, I feel like we're on a television set designed to make a TV show. It doesn't feel like a lived in world.
But, really?
Yeah.
They got live locations and everything. It looks like they're.
I don't know, the tables and everything that's it looks all brand new. But but anyway, it doesn't matter, dude. The action in this scene is incredible. So I forgive everything.
It's not as dirty and gritty as it is by the time we.
Well, hey, it is thousands of years beforehand. So
yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's just.
It's the prequels to the Star Wars prequels to the original. But except that was 30 years or something.
Right. Yeah.
Everything aged terribly in the Star Wars universe. But no, look, This episode was so good that I forgive all prior mistakes. I'm gonna clean slate and positive attitude towards this show going forward.
So we're just about pretty much near the end there. My next note is, don't give that kid the thing. Now, gives the kid the thing, and it's like, because the kid is sad, says he feels lost because when he had the thing in his hand, he felt power. Now that's gone, I guess he feels like.
Wait, they gave it. Hold on, this is what I was wondering. They gave it to Adar, then they capture Adar.
Yeah.
So where did it go in between then?
Galadriel had it. Galadriel, she had it when she was in there talking to him. And so I was wondering, did she hand it to somebody? Like, at what point did it get?
Honestly,
what point did it get swapped?
They are idiots because Galadriel should have held on to it the whole time. Kept it the whole time. They're idiots.
Because I was waiting for Arondir to actually show it to her and be like, look, maybe he did. I can't remember, but and she would have seen it and gone, oh no, this is the okay, yeah, I'll take it. Like, yes. Like, you're exactly right. If it's that important, like, don't just, I don't know. But I was wondering at what point I was watching. I watched it twice. Like, when there had to be a point where dude could have swapped it out. It must have been earlier, and they just
sat it on a table wrapped in the cloth.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Oh. Yes. Okay.
You're okay. I did. Yeah.
Good point. I mean, I figured that happened at some point. Like,
and
no matter what happened. Yeah.
That's right. I remember that. Yes. See, I didn't even think of that. Good job, guys. Thank you, Andy and Daryl.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
That's exactly right. So
that I still want to know, like, how they got it and switched it out.
Right. Because the kid hid it in the floor. So did he? But I don't know. I guess.
No, but he opens it and we can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So okay. All right. Then the hoofs. Yeah, you're okay. Right, and then right when okay. Yes. So that must have been when.
So he switched it out
as Numenor was coming.
Before Numenor came.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Good job.
Okay. Guys. Well, then Adar is smart as hell and thinking 10 steps ahead. So
absolutely,
that just made me. I don't want to say respect, but like that made me respect the character more. To be honest, like I don't agree with what he's doing, but I'm saying like he's smart, very intelligent.
Well, he said, and two things. He said, first of all, he was like, "Hey, we have a right to," basically paraphrasing, but we have a right to live and a right to a home just like everybody else. Before Galadriel, said all the stuff she said to him, but he did say, "We're gonna take over this land. You'll see, and you'll see what." And so as he's tied up, and so like, that's why
I'm starting to like overall like I like Adar as a villain, to be honest, because I'm thinking back to that scene where he's standing in the sunlight and he's like, I'm gonna miss it, because they're trying to basically block out all the light, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the orcs can live openly.
Yeah.
And I love how he's standing on it with the sunlight on his face, saying like he's gonna miss it.
Yeah, because they're all used to be elves. He used to be an elf who appreciated that sort of thing. But so that's great. Good job, Daryl and Andy. Good job, guys. I totally forgot about all that stuff. So, but yeah, and I wrote, "Oh no," that other guy swapped it out. Oh dear. And then so that's Mount Doom. Clearly, it's where the rings were made. Only there the rings can be unmade.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching. I'm like, oh, this is it. This is where everything happens now. Like, this is going to be terrible for the next 5,000 years, probably.
Yeah, but the blocking out the light and all that stuff, it doesn't happen around the whole entire planet, right? Like, it just happens in a certain area.
It seems like it's just just Middle Earth.
Well, because
or not Middle Earth, but the what do they call it? Mordor?
The Southlands, right?
The Southlands, which is
because the Southlands don't exist by the time we get to the original trilogy, right?
I believe that's Mordor.
Yeah,
right?
The Southlands is Mordor, right?
Right. Yeah, and maybe Isengard as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
but definitely Mordor. Yeah, because it looks like those trenches they're digging. That's what I assume that was. Is all the I don't know, but yeah, definitely Mordor. It's going to be Mordor. So yeah, and you can see that in like as soon as the volcano starts exploding, and I think where we at here? Oh, first let me go back to this real quick. Andy made this comment. Pretty sure the unseen world is like the dimension that Frodo. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So Andy wrote. I'll say this for audio listeners. Andy wrote, I'm pretty sure the unseen world is like the dimension that Frodo and Bilbo go into when they put on the ring and turn invisible.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. No, did we? Yeah. Was there like a reference to that in this episode?
Well, I said he said that Sauron sought to craft the power of the unseen world.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
yeah, and so that's possible. I think that might be what that is. Like I said, it's assuming it's whatever power he goes into the One Ring. It's all the rings power, or all the rings, I guess, especially the one. Yeah, possibly that's a good point, Andy. But let me go back up. He said, sorry. I made an allusion to it in one of these comments that I had, but maybe I missed it. But anyway, this is exactly everything that Galadriel was trying to prevent. I wonder if this is something she foresaw. Someone said that maybe Elrond can sense this, or maybe even can see it. I don't know, because I don't know where the place where the Durin and the dwarves are. I don't know. I don't think that's in Middle Earth, is it?
Where the mines and stuff?
Where the mines of Moria are. This is Middle Earth, isn't it? Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
like
know
I said, I mean, they show the maps like Middle Earth is like just a part of the planet or wherever. Yeah. And I mean, do they even have like planets like we do? Like, I don't know, but
right. Is the universe one giant planet?
Yeah, it's like there's no space. It's just a big planet. But because freaking the stranger came from the sky.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But he could just be chilling in the sky. They could just have like platforms in the sky, you know.
Is there a sky dimension or
and he just died and like you just turn into like a comet because going so fast.
Yeah, I'm curious about first of all, like I said, this is by the time we get to the end, it's a little more that volcano exploding was woof. Like I'm just looked like everyone's like take cover, run, but it's like
what are you gonna do?
Where?
Yeah.
Where are you gonna go? Like run, but
it's so crazy to me. You know how we were talking, I think it was last week or the week before, about that like they better pick the show up and we better get some significant events happening before the end of the show. Like honestly, as long as they wrap up a few storylines, I'm good. Like they don't have to do much in the next 2 episodes for me to feel like this was a successful season, to be honest. Like that's how much this episode worked for me.
Yeah.
And because a lot of significant stuff happened and we got information that we didn't have before. And so we kind of understand the circumstances from Adar and all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm hoping season 2 will be next year. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I don't want to wait more than a year.
Same. Yeah, because that would suck. We have to wait because I want to see what's going on.
Obviously they're gonna address the Elrond and Durin thing. Right. And we have to get some information on that. Like that has to kind of wrap up, and then
definitely the stranger.
The stranger. We need at least like as much information as we got about Adar in this episode.
Right.
Like
about the stranger. We gotta get. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Do you think we need to know what's up with Sauron, or like if he really did kill Sauron by the end of this season?
By the end of this season, kinda, yeah. We need to know.
Like I'm not saying we don't have to see him.
Let's see him, but we need to know where is he? What's he doing?
Yeah. If it's really like Halbrand or something, and the last scene of the series is like him like transforming into Sauron or something. Oh my goodness. And he's the king of the men too. Well, he's just the king of the Southland people.
Because it's gonna be him, Isildur versus Sauron eventually, right? So they're gonna square off. Because Isildur's the one that defeats him.
So crazy to me that kid becomes Isildur.
I know. And like he defeated him, like straight up. It's not even like he had anything special. Like he had that cool sword. I forgot what it's called. And he took him down. Like it wasn't even like, so that he's.
Well, kinda. He becomes a big giant eyeball, but.
Well, yeah, it's true. But one thing I was going to mention when the kid is sad about losing the sword thing, it is exactly what you mentioned with the ring. Like right when it gets corrupt to you, and because when when Arondir tells him give it to Numenor, to get rid of that darkness, I'm thinking, oh, he's not going to do it, and whatever it is that this thing does, this kid's probably going to be the one to do it. Like it's going to be just like when you're supposed to, like Isildur is supposed to destroy the ring, and then he's just like, nah, I'm going to keep it. I thought that was going to happen, but like I said, we get the nice, cool Ocean's 11 swap.
Oh yeah, that was
which was pretty. I actually went, oh no,
Yeah, that I don't know. I think like I'm questioning the Queen and Galadriel and Halbrand and Arondir. Like you guys should have been holding that thing like with your life, just like never letting anything happen to it.
Because all I recall is someone is saying it's a key. Now I don't really fully get the whole. We know it's okay, it's important, yeah, but like no one really stressing the importance of this thing other than we can't let him get it. So I would have liked to have seen a scene, particularly between Arondir and Galadriel, and maybe even the Queen, telling them this thing is we can't let So yeah, you're right, because like that was a full on, like everybody was kind of just asleep at the switch here, and but there's no way it didn't matter because it was already swapped out before they got there. So I guess it didn't really matter.
Now see, that's funny because like when I'm at work and stuff or whatever, I'm super careful about everything. So I would have been the person like, no, give me that. I'm holding on to it. Nobody's touching it. Or I would have like made sure somebody that I trusted
completely
had it. But even at that, I'd be like, wait a minute, should I hold on to it? I should hold on to it. Like I was like, man. But whatever. I mean, stuff like that happens in this world. So and
Galadriel would have trusted Arondir with. I mean, between the two elves there. I mean, I guess
true. And I just like was Galadriel like, damn, we lost, we were defeated. So she's
that's what it looked like.
Just take me.
Yeah, I kind of think that's exactly what I thought.
But
just standing there like,
well, first of all, we know she didn't die because she's alive thousands of years later.
Right.
But also, it's like, I don't know. I hope they address how she survived.
Yeah. A little bubble that appeared.
I mean, I get like, okay, I'll accept like elves are like basically super soldiers, right? Like
but they can't die.
Like their lungs, their skin, is all stronger than regular humans,
right? Or I should say they can be killed. I guess.
Well, they don't die of old age,
like right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
they can be like their head can be cut off though, like
right. Because Morgoth, killed her brother. Is that yeah. So.
Or somebody did. No, I mean,
or
some orcs did.
Whoever
she said, she didn't even say Sauron did. She said his people, like the orcs did, basically.
Right. Yeah. So I wonder. We have a. Oh, okay. We have a Streamlab.
A Streamlab from Theral.
Yes.
Here, I can go ahead and read it. So it says, all right. Like the Harfoots, we'll see the smoke next show. Only Wahlberg and Theo could use the sword in Key because the mark there. Maybe Melkor cultists see the smoke as well. Meanwhile, Phasion back on island there. Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone will see the smoke basically on Middle Earth.
Yeah.
And so maybe everyone starts heading towards there. And maybe the stranger sees it and he's like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. That somebody needs my help or something.
Because I thought I saw it was those are all quick cuts, so you couldn't really tell. But I thought I saw Elrond seeing it. That's what I thought. There might have been this image of Elrond looking up at, like seeing the. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Although he is buried in a mine, so it could have been maybe not. But yeah, I don't know. It's good. That's a good point. But that it says they show her in Ash cover in preview. Yeah, maybe something fell on her and that shielded her. I don't know. Or like I said, it could have just been ash and dust and dirt and smoke.
Yeah, like it It could be just, I don't know what that's called. I mean, I should know, but what that's called, like the after effect. And maybe it wasn't like a full volcano eruption. Maybe it was just like a little, like, you know how you do a science experiment and you dump it in and it kind of fizzes over. It was a little bit of that. Because the water just hit the lava and it probably just,
big,
you know.
Steam, basically.
Yeah.
That's essentially kind of what volcanoes can do. But yeah, that's basically it. That is the episode. It ends right there. So see the creation or activation of Mount Doom. I don't know what they were calling it before. I can't remember. Did they mention the name of the mountain? What they said?
I mean, they're in the Southlands, so I don't know what they called it before then. I don't know.
Mount Happy.
Yeah.
Mount
Something.
Mount Joy. No,
Yeah.
now it's Mount Doom.
Oh, you're saying what they called that?
Yeah.
That hill before that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Mount Doom. What's the opposite of doom?
Yes. Well, they were going into some. There was some kind of mission. It was the Ilsador and his buddy were like, "Yeah, we're going on a mission to go." Remember, the Queen. Galadriel was putting together a team to go.
Oh yes, to go find the missing orcs or whatever.
Yeah, and they were going to go into the mountains
that ran away. Yeah.
So.
Oh well, that's funny that they spent so much time talking about that and mentioning it. Like, are they still going to do that? I don't think it's necessary anymore.
Well, it seems like it will be very dangerous now. Maybe they will. I don't know, but
I mean, honestly, this episode changes the whole entire show.
Everything, yeah, absolutely.
Like nothing can go back to normal anymore after this,
right?
Which is kind of cool. I'm glad they're getting into that right away.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, right away in the series.
And it's occurred to me, Durin and the dwarves, that is Middle Earth because they're building a tower. They're building one of the towers, so that's what that is. So that is Middle Earth. But I'm just curious how close that is to the Southlands. So that's why I was asking about that. But yeah,
I mean, think about it in the original trilogy sense. They're there in the mines, and then they eventually go to Mordor.
They get to Mordor.
That's pretty far away.
They were on their way. That's where they were passing through the mines. It was supposed to be a shortcut.
But it's funny to me. People talk about like, oh, why did they walk so far? They could have just rode one of those eagles all the way there. Like,
didn't I? I think
in the original
something that says the eagles didn't want to get involved.
Maybe. I mean, I can see that. Yeah. But I'm like, has to be a faster way.
Oh, of course.
Other than just walking. But they do get separated from the group and they have to go alone. Just Frodo and Sam, whatever.
Yeah. But I've always thought that. I remember, it's like Gandalf just one of those whistles, come down. Hey, take them all. But down.
Like, you're a freaking wizard. Like, you can't
teleport
them.
I know.
Something.
He would have seen the eagles coming. He has those big flying things too. I forgot what they're called.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess it exposes them
So yeah, he would have seen the eagles
to more danger. You just kind of sneak there on the ground, I guess.
Right.
But yes, great episode. Completely changed my enthusiasm on the series. Yeah. Awesome.
Absolutely. And like I said, we're approaching more familiar territory. Like I said, with what we've seen. From what we know of Lord of the Rings, like I said, what we've seen visually between the other movies there. So, can't wait to see what happens next. It was a fun episode to watch and fun to talk about. Thank you for joining us, watching us. Jacob, is there anything you want to tell them about what's maybe coming up?
In about like an hour and a half here. You will see us again on screen. If you guys want to come hang out for Bartley and Barnes, our monthly entertainment show, we basically just talk about whatever we want: movies, television, sports, pop culture, music. We're gonna be hanging out here in about an hour and a half, live in person together for the first time in a long time. So Farrell, Andy, who else do we have in here? Jeffrey, if you guys want to come chill, we could even talk more Rings of Power if you want. I totally don't mind. But yeah, we'll be. I pushed the stream back to 6:30.
No problem.
Just to give us some more time.
Yeah. We have to work out some technical stuff probably and set up and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll be there. Come join us for that. But After that, come join us again for the next episode of Rings of Power, our review show, episode 7. We're almost to the end here, so we're gonna come back, talk about that one. Hopefully, see some more stuff that we're familiar with. It's gonna be tough, I think, to match this episode, but
well, like I said, I don't need another. I don't even like. I don't need more battle scenes. I just need some good storytelling that rest of the next 2 episodes. That's all I ask for.
I think we'll get that. I think we'll get it, and whatever it is, we're gonna be right here to talk about it. We'll let you guys know if there are any changes in time. I don't think there will be, but if there is, we'll definitely make sure to let you know so you can join us, talk about Rings of Power. Thank you for watching with us. We'll see you all next time.
Oh, that was on me to close this out. Let me get this here. All righty. Oh, do we have the Rings of Power one? Let's see here. Oh,